Well, g'day curd nerds. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Cheeseman, where I sit in the not so chair of cheesy wisdom to answer all your questions about cheese making at home. Now, very unscripted this week, following on from the wonderful feedback and response I got from last week's episode about whether making cheese is worth it. I know that was fully scripted and you saw me looking off screen quite a bit there, but that was because I was trying to read a script to the side and it didn't really look that good, but I think I got the message across. Making cheese at home is definitely worth it, and it is one heck of a lot of fun in your kitchen. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I've got my phone here and I'm going to be reading off questions that you guys have asked in the comments section on YouTube. Now, I don't know how long the segment's going to go for. We'll see. But the first one is from Ron Vandenberg, and Ron asks, can I follow the same recipe for raw milk, or do I have to change things and leave things out, like calcium chloride? Well, Ron, thanks for your question. Yes, all you have to do when using raw milk is to leave out the calcium chloride. That's the only ingredient you need to leave out. You will also find that it will have a deeper and richer flavour because you will have a lot of the native flora in your milk. And by flora I mean the lactic bacteria that we as home cheese makers reintroduce in the form of starter cultures. So you will already have those present in the raw milk, and depending on how long it takes you before you make the cheese, and I hope you make it straight away, as quick as you can, straight out of the cow or goat or sheep or whatever animal you're using to source your milk, then yeah, it'll have enough time to develop once you reach the target temperature, if it isn't already there already, and it'll have time to develop after you put in the rennet and make the cheese through the normal process. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Ron. The next question is from Crosswood. Crosswood spells, do you spell Munster differently in Oz, or is it a different type of cheese entirely? Maybe it's just like the difference between blue and bleu, which is the French pronunciation, or bleu. Trying not to be difficult. Cheers, Chris. Well, actually, Munster spelled M-U-E-N-S-T-E-R is an American variety, which is actually orange, and that orange is through the addition of annatto. But the Munster spelled M-U-N-S-T-E-R is made in France, and it's called Munster Jérôme, if I remember rightly. And that is an AOC cheese that is native to that region. So that's the different types of Munster. One's an American version and one is a French version. The French version is very close to the German border, so it's actually sometimes made in Germany as well. Hope that answered your question, Chris. Okay, another question from PG's World and Recipes. PG says, my wife loves the taste of Old English cheese, but we find it is expensive to purchase. Can it be made at home? I actually wrote back and said, Old English cheese, I saw a processed version of that once in a Subway restaurant. I believe you may be referring to varieties such as Red Leicester or Red Cheshire. And PG's comment had come back and said, yes, Gavin, thank you for replying to my comment. Yes, that is what I meant, but I could not remember the name. Can that be made at home? We have found it expensive to buy. Well, yes, PG, it is. I'll start again. Yes, PG, you can make those two types of cheeses at home. In fact, I actually have a Leicester video, and I didn't quite make it as red as it could have been, and you can see the link to it if you pop up there somewhere. There's the link to the Leicester, Red Leicester, And I do have a recipe for Cheshire cheese, which I think I'll make in the next, I'll bump that up the list and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely you can make red Cheshire. The red comes from annatto, and annatto is from a berry that is native to South America. And they simply crush it and add water to it, and it is simply a natural food colouring. The more you add to cheese, the redder it becomes. So it goes from yellow to orange to yellow to red. I hope that answers your question, PG. Another question from Lewis Sividen. Sorry, Lewis, if I've mucked your name up. Said, hi Gavin, loving your vids, they're great. Do you have a vid on your cheese cave slant fridge? Is it a wine fridge? I'm on limited data each month, so I've only been able to watch a few so far. Thanks heaps. Well, thanks for your question, Lewis. Yes, I do have. I've just got a bar fridge. So you know those bar fridges that you have under the bar? Well, that's all I have, and I have an external thermostat connected to it, and you can see a picture of that just up there. So an external thermostat where I control the temperature basically turns the fridge on and off. Different than a wine fridge. A wine fridge doesn't use refrigeration, it uses what's known as the Peltier effect. I think that's how you pronounce it, don't crucify me for it. But here in Australia, it doesn't get cool enough. In the summer, it can't maintain the inside temperature of the fridge cold enough. It strays by up to 10 degrees from the set temperature on the wine fridge. So therefore it's no good for cheese making. It doesn't keep the temperature down low enough down to the target temperature between 10 and 13 degrees Celsius, which is what we're after. So unfortunately, wine fridges are no good unless you live in maybe Tasmania, and they'd probably be okay, or up in the Alps in Australia. Yes, we do have mountains and it does snow here. If you live up in the Alps region, then you probably will be okay with a wine fridge. So hopefully that answers your question. There is a video, and you can go to the link up here somewhere. There'll be the link to the cheese fridge, and you'll see how it all works there. Anyway, thanks for your question, Lewis. There were lots of questions about how did I know that my blue Munster was fit to eat? What are the signs? Well, the signs of a bad cheese are either black mould or it smells like sewage. They're the two tips that I can give you. Anything else, as far as I'm concerned, is fair game. And I've never had food poisoning yet. So usually the nose knows as far as sewage goes. I'll leave that up to you, but you can definitely tell if black mould has taken root on the surface of your cheese. Then just use a little bit of white vinegar and a brine solution. Just wash that off, and that'll usually get rid of it and kill it off, and it'll stay off. If it keeps coming back and back, maybe scrape the surface of the cheese and go from there. But see how you go. But yeah, that's how I can tell. Everything else, like I said, is fair game. And if it smells like old socks, then it's a washed rind cheese and it smells okay and tastes okay, which it certainly did. So yeah, that was lovely. Anyway, thanks for that question. That was many people asked that one for that blue Munster cheese. So thanks for all the questions, everyone. Now don't forget that you can purchase all of the equipment that you need. If you're in Australia, we do ship internationally, and I've just spent the entire weekend revamping the website and making it function a lot better. And you can go to littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching, Curd Nerds, and we'll see you next time.